We have with us Ms. Seema Joshi, who is General Manager, ESRI India, and she will be talking on the topic leveraging geospatial technology platform for water resource management and distribution. Over to you, Seema.
Fine, good afternoon and a very, very warm welcome. As per our session, as we have seen, water resources planning and management. This is something a very, very challenging issue in front of all of us, and that is where we are just trying to bring in how our geospatial technology platform can help in efficient management of this particular precious resource. So coming to start with, as we all are aware, water is a precious resource, but it's a highly complex as well. If we see on the one side, it's both extremes and lows. At both level, it is challenging for all of us to manage it. Excess creates floods, whereas scarcity creates droughts and all. And then it is not only that, even if water is available in sufficient quantity, that time also the quality of the water again at times is highly challenging. Like we have arsenic dissolved in water and all, and because of that skin cancers and all. So there are many factors which are involved in this water resource management. If you look at on the other side of the water distribution part, because one is water resources management and second is water, whatever water is available, our next challenge is how we can distribute it effectively so that we can make it available for all. If we see the kind of challenges in our urban and rural areas, there are places where water is getting whatever, though the resource is very limited, but there are challenges where water is getting wasted because of the pipeline burst and all. There are huge scarcity of the water. On the other side, the quality of the water and drinking water is again one of the biggest issue. So around this, how together or how we can handle all these, that is what I'm just trying to bring in here. Now, this was just one little study by this World Bank team and UNESCO and all. But I wanted to highlight one aspect here inside this, that scarcity of the water and the water stress. If you see on this image, hello, yeah. So if you see this image on the right hand side, we see this is the latest development which we have. In fact, one of the application which we have deployed in India Urban Observatory, where the water stress level in different cities is we have tried to bring in and highlight here that which are the cities in next 50 years, 2050, where the water challenges will be there for the drinking water. So these kind of projections and predictions, we have done it. So looking at all these things, we know, there are quite a few of challenges in the water sector, starting from the basin management and plans, for the dams and check dams, watershed management, where was ground level monitoring and management, flood forecasting. These are some few actually we have just tried to bring in, but overall here GIS, if you see, GIS can play a key role in the entire water exploration and distribution cycle. If we start with here, if you see the water resources, where we have the drainages, we have the rivers, canals, a network, along with the underground water levels and underground water sources. So all these planning and resources we need to do. And then finally, once the water is available, then the raw water needs to be purified and all. And then after extraction, it needs to be converted into the potable water. And then this consumable, once it is there in the consumable water framework, and then the distribution, and that too efficient distribution, so that there is no losses on the way, and there are no losses, water losses and all. And highly efficiently we can handle that water distribution. So, and once the water is distributed, then finally the wastewater management is also one of the key requirement there. When we are talking about this water distribution, then how to handle and manage this wastewater. In fact, recently I was just looking at one of the Bill Gates implementation also, where this wastewater was also reconverted into drinking water, along with the electricity generation project and all, so that this particular system can be further optimized. So what I'm just trying to bring in from this slide here is that we have limited resources, but that needs to be utilized efficiently and effectively. It has to be maintained in a sustainable way so that it can be leveraged to the fullest. And that is where GIS, geospatial technology, can play a key role. And it provides a number of tools and applications and interfaces. And we have already seen quite a few of good examples. So, well, if we look at, I mean, it can play a key role in groundwater management, water quality, water distribution, and all. And then if we quickly see, I mean, GIS can be used for this water reclamation and reservoir plannings, and subsequently efficient quality management and all. So here, if we look at some of these GIS role of GIS here, we can have a complete integrated water management, watershed management. This is one aspect of the drought. How we can see and analyze the possibility of the drought in which all areas. So I mean, these are some of the areas where GIS can actively support in various implementations, like for GIS for the water demand and supply analysis, and then finally water distribution networks and all. So here, if we talk about, I mean, these are few of the areas where quickly, I mean, we can use water resources. Now, coming to some of the quick successful deployments we have, as we all know, I mean, India Varis, that was one of the very good projects which was executed, and here very effectively GIS was leveraged for this particular project. And then in the same way, we have this National Hydrology Project, where which was in fact funded by World Bank also, where all these catchment area analysis and water balance collection, water balance and calculation was done. Then in the similar lines, if we talk about another good case study in India, we have this GIS-based groundwater information system, where by CGWB, and there we have this complete underground water level and this depth of the water in various locations. It was mapped, and this data is available. So here, if you look at all these things, if we see this particular dashboard, I mean, all this data is available. Now, what I'm just trying to bring in, that we have very good success stories, we have very good successful deployments, where even there was one very good success story with respect to the TWAD board in Chennai, where they have done one complete analysis of the hydrology, where they should put their check dams, where the water recharging centers can be created. Some of the awards were provided to them because all these analyses were done, and they have analyzed and verified these results, and they found that every summer when water was going down and when using GIS, they identified locations and placed those check dams and all. The water recharging levels improved. So these are, I mean, some of the good deployments. And now, if we look at the recent development of this Clean Ganga mission, where, in fact, in using this GIS technology, we have this national, I mean, Clean Ganga, under this Clean Ganga mission. This particular dashboard was deployed, where they are monitoring the status of quality of the water at different levels, and then where are the different locations where this quality monitoring centers are there. So under this, where the pollution, which are the polluting industries which are close by to the Ganga river and all. So this is a complete mega project also. Right now it's going on. In similar lines, there is a West Bengal ADMIP project, where they are doing a complete watershed management. But coming to here, I mean, there are many good successful deployments globally, but and in India, if you see, I mean, quick list. This is a short list. I mean, I'm just giving a glimpse here that there are good usage of GIS in various projects. But where is the challenge? I mean, when I'm looking at when I'm saying that still we are facing challenges with respect to the water distribution management and all, what is the challenge? We have experts, we have very good data available under different projects. We have very good technology and solutions available with individual respective projects. We have state-of-art hardware and software and everything available. So what I'm trying to bring in here is that we have, I mean, at present there are quite a few projects and resources available, but they are all in silos. I mean, they have primarily they have project-based information which is lined with the respective projects. But to have a complete integrated watershed management system where different agencies can access that information and do their analysis and take that results for the decision support requirement, we need the kind of integrated collaborative platform. And that is what now the latest developments in this technology where we can have and we can deploy to leverage it to the fullest. So here, if I talk about, I mean, ISRI has a complete end-to-end solution platform which can be leveraged for this water resources management and even at the distribution level. So starting from this data creation, and then we might as well use this IoT and AI-based analytics and all, and then we can do this reporting, and that information can be used for the planning and actions. So typically, I mean, if we talk about what we need is that we need to have a common collaborative platform where we can seamlessly integrate data and information from different sources. If I give one small example here, like for example, I was talking about this in agriculture, we are having arsenic and that is giving the cancerous results and all. So if we have this water quality ensured, and that water quality information, if it can be shared with all those agriculture and all those different agencies, then all these decisions can be taken about like where they should grow and where are the hazardous industries which can be restricted and all, where the water is getting contaminated in the drinking water and all. So here what simply we need is all this information to be brought at a common collaborative platform, and then various apps can be created for different user agencies, and they can use it for their decision support requirement. Now, one more thing I just wanted to add here is when we want to manage resources and all, there are many global live feeds available, like for example, rainfall information that is directly linked to the floods and the capacity of the water and rainfall runoff in the rivers and all. So all this information, all this global information is available nowadays with various global agencies which are providing it, through global platforms. So here we need, the kind of GIS platform where if I am working on a, let's say, flood planning, then I may need to use the complete geology, of the soil, and basically soil, different kinds of soils, terrain, topography, land use, land cover, all that information is required to do an integrated analysis. And that is where this is ESRI's platform. Here we have all this information, not only the department specific information, but additional information which is critical for the water resources management, that is also made available through the Living Atlas. Now, another important thing is when we are working in a GIS, it is not only, and as we have observed, quite a few of these projects, they are using the desktop, environment. But when we talk about water resources management, there are multiple agencies required and multiple data sources in different formats. So here, the technology platform should enable the kind of platform which we need that should enable all these different kinds of data to be integrated seamlessly. And that is where ESRE platform has these capabilities where we can directly integrate all these geospatial information from various sources and sensors, and we can.
Seema, may I request you to please wind up your presentation?
Yeah, just 2 minutes more. Yeah. So here, I mean, we have a number of tools available which can be used directly for various kinds of modeling and hydrological modeling and all for prediction modeling, and that can be effectively used. And finally, one thing I just wanted to highlight in the last is here in this platform, we have ready to use configurable solution templates and models, which are I mean, industry specific models which can be used. I mean, if you talk about water resources also, there are very specific applications which are available that can be directly configured and used. So one another last example which I just wanted to give here is there was one app which was deployed. I mean, these applications are not only for the department heads and policy level executives and all, but even at the citizen level, like for example, Save Your Lakes. I mean, this is one initiative by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs where they have provided this app to all citizens so that anybody can contribute information and share that. And finally, last but not the least, that is capacity building. So in what we need is for effective and efficient management of water resources and distribution and all, there is a very well planned structured training programs required at various levels, and that is what the capacities has to be built at various levels. And with that, I mean, I just wanted to in one line, what we need, although we have good data, we have rich resources available, but they are all in silos. Finally, what we need is to have a collaborative platform where we can seamlessly access information both locally, nationally, and globally. Inside that, analyze it, and then use it for our efficient distribution and management system. Thank you.